Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Gene Robinson, Interim Dean of the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences. It is my distinct pleasure to join you as we recognize and celebrate some of our college's most distinguished alumni. In this strange year, our virtual format allows us to mark this special event with alumni and friends from across the world. Welcome to all of you. We're here to celebrate individuals who, as you'll hear soon, have done path-breaking work and who personify what it means to be an Illini and an LAS alumnus. Tonight's event is also a celebration of the college itself. LAS is unlike any other college at this university. We have an amazing breadth of study, outstanding scholars and educators across many fields of intellectual pursuit, and students who never cease to amaze us with their passion for learning and innovation. This year, the work we do across our college has been more important and visible than ever. Our contributions to coronavirus testing, engaging on how to increase virus-safe behavior, and understanding the cultural, historical, and economic context of this pandemic have been critical to delivering on our mission. The College of LAS has nearly 180,000 alumni, each of whom have launched lifelong educational journeys on our quad and in our on-campus and virtual classrooms, labs, and libraries. They have entrusted us to educate them, and they have taken their Illinois education and used it in amazing ways. While our alumni family is full of people who have found success in many different pursuits, the alumni we honor now are among the best of the best. They join a distinguished group of only 200 alumni who have been similarly recognized by the college. That is elite company. The people we celebrate tonight are wonderful examples of the power of a degree from the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences at Illinois. People who took a strong LAS foundation and have used it to change the world. Through their work and service, they have demonstrated that a degree in LAS is a launching point from which great success can follow. I'd like to offer my thanks to those who nominated alumni for these awards, to our dedicated Alumni Council members for selecting these wonderful awardees, and to our advancement team for planning this great celebration. On behalf of the entire college, I congratulate and salute our alumni awardees.
Hello, my name is Joey Levan, and I'm a 2010 alumnus of the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences, and I'm the chair of the LAS Alumni Council. On behalf of the Alumni Council, thank you for joining us as we gather virtually to celebrate the achievements of some of our most accomplished alumni. Although our preference would have been to celebrate together on campus, we are living through unprecedented times. We appreciate that technology affords us this opportunity to recognize these alumni virtually, and we welcome those alumni joining this celebration from all around the world. For those of you who are LAS alumni, you are part of an alumni community that is led by a dedicated group of volunteers who serve as ambassadors and advocates for LAS. These volunteers build connections between alumni, the students, and the college, and they have the honor to recognize the accomplishments of our fellow alumni. In addition, there are LAS alumni who volunteer on alumni council committees, serve on departmental boards, serve as mentors, speak on panels and classes, and more. Thank you to all of our alumni who volunteer their time and their talents for the benefit of LAS and the university. Please visit the alumni section of the LAS website to find out more about how you can get involved as a volunteer. On behalf of all LAS alumni, congratulations to all of the 2020 LAS Alumni Award honorees. We are proud of your accomplishments and the impact you have made on the world.
Hello, my name is Monisha Kavor. I'm a junior double majoring in molecular and cellular biology honors and psychology. I'm also the president of LAS Leaders, which is a student organization that was founded in 2001. Students are selected based on a commitment to representing the college through programs and community service. We serve as the student advancement group, and one of the highlights of our times as leaders is meeting alumni at events. Although we miss being able to meet in person with the alumni, we are excited to have had the opportunity this week to engage with alumni virtually. One of the highlights of our time as LAS leaders is participating in alumni award ceremony. Not only do we get to celebrate the recipients of LAS alumni awards, we get to celebrate the recipients of the departmental awards as well. Due to COVID-19, the selection of several departmental alumni award honorees were delayed, but today it is my honor to recognize the following departmental honorees. From the Department of Atmospheric Sciences, the Alumni Achievement Award for the 2019-2020 academic year was presented to Dr. Susan Avery, PhD Atmospheric Sciences 1978. Dr. Avery is a senior fellow at the Consortium for Ocean Leadership in Washington, D.C., and President Emerita of the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution in Massachusetts. Dr. Avery has served on the faculty at both the University of Illinois and at the University of Colorado Boulder. She has served as the director of the Cooperative Institute for Research in Environmental Studies and is the president and director of Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution. From the Department of Mathematics, the Actuarial Science Alumnus of the Year Award was presented to Stephen Armstrong, BS Actuarial Science 1992. Stephen Armstrong is a vice president of Pricing Analytics and Actuarial Services at Allstate Insurance Co. In this role, he has shared responsibility for pricing more than $20 billion in premiums and has had a lead role in improving pricing sophistication through advanced actuarial methods. Notably, Armstrong was one of the first actuaries to help bring forward a telematics, usage-based auto insurance program in the US known as DriveWise by Allstate. From the Department of Political Science, the Alumni Achievement Award was presented to Susan Welch, AB History 1965, MA Political Science 1966, PhD Political Science 1970, all at the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign. Susan Welch is the Professor of Political Science and Dean Emerita of the College of Liberal Arts at Penn State. As a scholar of urban and ethnic politics and women in politics, she applied quantitative methods to examine the political consequences of different types of electoral reform. Susan was a 1993 recipient of the LAS Alumni Achievement Award. The Political Science Young Alumni Award was presented to Brian Clark, BA Economics and Political Science 2006, University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign. Brian Clark has a wide breadth of regulatory compliance experience, including derivative exchanges, market investigation, clearinghouse compliance, and registered brokerage businesses. In 2015, he co-founded Ascent RegTech. Ascent uses artificial intelligence to help customers digitalize and automate the regulatory risk and compliance programs. The Political Science Distinguished Service Award was presented to Robert Kustra, PhD in Political Science 1974 at the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign. Bob Kustra stepped down as president of Boise State University in July 2018 after serving for 15 years. He also served 2 terms as Illinois Lieutenant Governor and chaired the Illinois Board of Higher Education, which is responsible for funding and oversight of the state's 9 public universities. Congratulations to all of these alumni. Thank you for showing students and your fellow alumni the impact that LAS alumni make on the world.
Hello, my name is Lindsay Bergstaller. I'm a 2004 and 2008 graduate from LAS, and I serve as the Vice Chair for the LAS Alumni Council and the Chair of the LAS Alumni Awards Committee. The Awards Committee has the distinct honor of selecting the honorees for the Alumni Achievement Award, the Humanitarian Award, the Outstanding Young Alumni Award, and the Distinguished Service Award. Every year we are impressed and amazed by the nominations we receive. It is not an exaggeration to say that LAS alumni are making an impact on the world every day through their work, their service, their advocacy, and their philanthropy. Thank you to the members of this committee who volunteered their time to help us recognize our fellow LAS alumni. Kelvin Drogemeyer has received an LAS Alumni Achievement Award. The graduate in Atmospheric Sciences is Director of the Office of Science and Technology Policy at the White House and Acting Director of the National Science Foundation.
There were so many great experiences at Illinois, but I have to say the one that I think really stuck with me and that impacted me the most was watching Larry Smarr, who was then a professor of astronomy, and my own advisor, Bob Wilhelmsen, conceived the idea for a national supercomputing center, in fact, a family of centers that ultimately led to the creation of a program at the National Science Foundation that ultimately led to the creation of the National Center for Supercomputing Applications at the U of I, along with 4 other centers around the country. Watching them develop the idea, develop the proposal, have a site visit was an extraordinary experience for a graduate student. I actually got to participate in some of that, and that absolutely transformed the direction of science in this country and still is having a tremendous impact today. So I was so blessed and fortunate to be a part of that when that was unfolding at the U of I. You ought to realize without question that you are one of the foremost institutions of academic learning and research in the entire world. A lot of universities have excellence in a few areas. Illinois is truly a pioneer, and I truly mean that, in so many different areas, from fine arts to engineering, from physics to mathematics, from ceramics to agriculture. So it's a very broad, very, very deep university. So I would say soak up as much as you can while you're there. Make the most of every opportunity that is provided to you, but also create your own opportunities. Leave the university better than you found it, and take care of that wonderful institution after you leave. That would be my advice to students at the U of I.
CHERYL L. Quinn has received an LAS Alumni Achievement Award. The graduate in biochemistry has devoted her career to pharmaceutical drug discovery and development. She has served as a consultant and as CEO of Imuvin Inc., as well as a director of an antibacterial program at Pfizer, among other roles.
I think it's an overall feeling about the breadth of the career. I've worked in from the smallest of biotech companies that were very successful up to very large pharmaceutical companies. And I have worked on a variety of things. I've had different responsibilities. And I think just that curiosity that I've had and has enabled me to really learn a lot and keep that learning progress going. I don't know how people end up in a job and do the same thing day in, day out and don't drive themselves nuts with boredom. So I think the fact that I've never had a chance to really be bored with what I was doing. What I learned at Illinois was we had this extended faculty of lots of diverse experiences. And what I learned there was don't reinvent the wheel yourself. Don't make yourself go out and learn something. When there's an expert down the hall, go and ask them, how do you do this? What do you think about this? Bounce ideas off these people, get that kind of feedback. And I think when I was an early grad student, I was kind of nervous about it, but all the faculty in the biochemistry department in Illinois were really, really nice and generous with their time. And so now even, when I went to large pharmaceutical companies and I was talking to people really high up the ladder, I knew that I had been able to overcome that at Illinois, that kind of fear of these people who are so much smarter, and that usually these people like to talk about what they're doing and that they're very helpful. And so I think that experience at Illinois really helped me get over my fear of, walking into the Sir Professor John Bell's lab in my postdoc and asking him, how do you do this? And that kind of letting the curiosity drive it and not being overwhelmed by titles and hierarchy or anything like that, just really trying to understand the science. So I think that was a lesson that was really honed for me at Illinois.
Hai-Kien Timkin has received an LAS Alumni Achievement Award. The graduate in chemistry is a Chevron Fellow who has led many new technological developments at the company, including lessening the environmental impact of oil refineries.
So I came from Korea and then in Illinois. So my second year, I decided that I wanted to change my advisor. So for PhD student, changing the advisor is a very difficult decision. I switched the field from inorganic chemistry to the physical chemistry and moved to the Eric Oldfield's lab. So that is a lot of initiative in my part. It was a pretty bold decision, and that helped me grow into new field, expand my horizon, and that kind of built me to, whenever I have difficult decisions, I think about that first difficult decision I made in Illinois. I think that life is not always monotonous. It has ups and downs, and the problems are difficult. So when I have problems, it really drags me down. and then I suffered through. But those gives the best lessons, so that overcoming the problems, that process helps people grow. And so when you have problems or issues, you're not alone. And then you're going to look back and then thinking that by overcoming these problems, I become a better person. So I think that not be afraid. Things doesn't go right, stick to it and fight with it. Yeah.
Joel Guiderman has received an LAS Alumni Humanitarian Award. The graduate in physiology is co-chairman of the Department of Emergency Medicine at the Cedars-Sinai Medical Center and medical director of the Beverly Hills Fire Department. He is a founder in the field of emergency medicine.
In my life, I kind of took the other path, the one less traveled, and it's worked out very well for me. And I think that people should follow their hearts and do what they want to do, and things will work out. And there's no shortcuts in life, but if you follow your passion and follow your heart and you work hard, I think you'll do extremely well in life and be happy. And there's no getting around it. You want to be happy in your life. So, yeah. I do want to say my wife went to the University of Michigan, and my mother-in-law and my mother, who I remember dearly, used to argue about which school was better. And my mother, of course, took the Illinois side, and I have to say, I think that's true. I think it's just a great school. It's not full of itself. It's solid as a rock. And it produces really good students that recruiters want and that become very successful in life. And so the students who go there are fortunate, and I wish them the best.
Michael Hecht has received an LAS Alumni Humanitarian Award. The graduate in speech communication is Professor Emeritus at Penn State and President of Real Prevention, LLC. He is known for his ideas and successful models for ways to prevent substance abuse.
So when I was at Illinois, there were two faculty members that were very important to my education. One was Sharon Mahood, who taught me a great number of things and talked to me about what it was like to be a professional and a researcher. And the other was Fred Hilpert, who was one of my advisors. They both had interests that cut across disciplines. Fred had degrees in sociology and communication, and they encouraged me to explore opportunities all across the campus and take courses in psychology and education and sociology. And this taught me the value of multidisciplinary work well before that became a popular way of doing work in the academy. And it also became a touchstone for my own work and for much of what I do in public health now. On some projects that I'm on, I am the only one that's trained in the communication discipline. There are many great minds at Illinois. Find them, experience them, interact with them, learn how they think, be open to how they impact you, but do not lose yourself in their brilliance. Well, my work takes me in a lot of different directions and pulls me into a lot of different subject matters and disciplines and subdisciplines and methodologies. And the flexibility that I learned at Illinois in thinking about things and understanding things and studying things has helped me a great deal to adapt. My career has evolved quite a bit from interpersonal communication to intercultural communication, and then combining them in the work I do in health and health communication, health messaging. And so it set me up because it taught me to be flexible in my thinking and in my behaviors and in my methodology and my theories. And it's been really invaluable in the work that I've done and the success that I've had.
Richard Berkowitz has received an LAS Distinguished Service Award. The graduate in biology is chairman and medical director at 2 hospitals in northern Indiana, and he has initiated a highly successful mentorship program in the School of Molecular and Cellular Biology that connects undergraduates with alumni who are working in health, research, biotechnology, and other related careers.
I think the first thing would be to actually find a mentor, somebody you can trust, somebody who can help guide you through, this stage of your life and career. There may be more than one person, but sometimes we feel like we can do it alone, but the world has become a really complicated place. And I think sometimes it's okay to ask for help. And I think that would be the first thing. The second thing I would tell them is choose your own path. Don't be encumbered by what other people think you should do or who you should be or what you should be. I think that's really important because I think you'll find the most happiness if you do the thing that you want to do as opposed to what somebody else wants you to do. Third, it wasn't until I think I was an alum and because I siloed myself in the world of science, that I basically realized how large geographically and academically the university is. I guess, basically what I'm trying to tell the student is don't be restricted by the walls of your college or the walls of your major. Look into other academic disciplines that may reinforce what you're trying to do with your career. Because if you diversify your education, it's going to lead to versatility, it's going to lead to collaboration, and it's going to lead to innovation. And I think that that's really important. Fourth, look at your life in phases or stages. I think the most important thing is that at some point in your career, you may decide you want to do something else. Don't be afraid. Go after it. You know what I mean? You can use the present skill sets you have. Don't be afraid to add to your skill sets. And if you want to do something else, then reach for it. And then finally, I think one of the things that I was always taught is that in some way, you need to give back to your community. You need to give back to society and to those less fortunate. At Illinois, you're going to obtain a skill set and resources that are going to allow you to easily do that.
Kurt Bloomstrand has received an LAS Outstanding Young Alumni Award. The graduate in molecular and cellular biology is Medical Director of Emergency Medical Services at OSF Heart of Mary Medical Center, where he oversees operations in 7 counties and operates a physician response vehicle.
I think probably one of the best classes that I took at Illinois was, there are a few. I mean, I took a lot of molecular and cellular biology courses. I also took a lot of other courses throughout U of I, and such as community health courses and kinesiology courses. So there wasn't like one that sticks out per se. I think kind of all of those courses together gave me this well-rounded, integrative approach to medicine and to dealing with problems and kind of dealing with situations that arise currently in my job. One that kind of sticks out, I guess, at the front runner would be a physiology class that I took in my undergraduate career or my undergraduate time at the University of Illinois. It just seemed to kind of resonate with me and click with me. And I think some of that was the professor that taught it. I think he taught so much more than just the topic at hand. He taught so much more than just the physiology lectures that he taught. He taught life lessons. And, even to this day, I still remember him, kind of walking into class. He always had a smile on his face. He was always uplifting. And I try to take that with me throughout my life, throughout my job, throughout my career. Every patient I see, every encounter that I have with work, I try to present that with an uplifting spirit, and keep in mind, I'm seeing sometimes people at their worst moments in their life, and it's my job to try to bring them calm, try to bring them peace, and to some degree, try to uplift their spirits at their weakest moments or at their worst times in their life. And, I still remember back to those days that I see Dr. Masami walking into class with that just radiant smile, that uplifting spirit. He taught more than what I think he intended to teach, which is the physiology at hand. He taught, life lessons. And I would say that still sticks with me and resonates with me today.
George Reveliotis has received the LAS Dean's Quadrangle Award. The graduate in history is the founder and managing partner in Reveliotis Law. In addition to previous gifts to support teaching at his alma mater, he recently pledged $1.5 million to set up the George N. Reveliotis Family Hellenic Studies Endowment to support a lecturer, scholarships, professorships, and graduate fellowships in the Department of the Classics.
I remember this particular professor, he used to work for the CIA, and he always used to tell us, never absolutely trust what you're reading, because the author looks at things from a particular viewpoint. So that is something that I learned in that class, and I apply to most everything that I read today, where you examine the author, the experiences of the author, and then to always try to keep an open mind and to formulate your own conclusions. the most impactful experience at the university, I don't know if you can pinpoint it to any given experience, but I think it's the whole overall experience that is impactful to anyone's life, to my life, because getting an education at the university and living there in Champaign or Urbana, it's a very impactful experience. In its like as a whole, it's looking back. You try to measure, you try to understand your life, and you ask yourself the question: if you'd be where you are now without that experience at the university. And I think I would say, no, I would not be where I'm at without those many experiences at the university. I think that just living away from home, but being at that particular university, meeting those professors, meeting that group of friends, the successes, the studying, I think all that together formed a very unique experience that helped propel me to where I'm at right now.
Yi Gang, who received his master's and PhD in economics from LAS and is one of our recipients of the LAS Alumni Achievement Award, was unable to participate in our virtual Alumni Award celebration. He is governor of the People's Bank of China, which is the central bank of China. Governor Yi's position is comparable to the chair of the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve System, making Yi the highest official governing monetary policy and banking regulations in the country. He began his career as a professor at Indiana University, Purdue University, Indianapolis, where he wrote a book that established himself as an authority on the Chinese economy. In his nomination letter for Governor Yi, Richard Clarida, an LAS alumnus who previously received the LAS Alumni Achievement Award and is vice chairman of the Federal Reserve, said about Governor Yi, "Seeing him in action confirms my incredible high regard for the judgment and leadership he brings to this important position. Many Illinois alumni have achieved great success in both the private and public sectors, and Dr. Yi is clearly among the top group of alumni who have achieved great success in the public sector." Our last honoree for our awards ceremony is Richard Powers. Richard is receiving special recognition for his career in writing. The graduate in English and Rhetoric received an LAS Alumni Achievement Award in 2010 for his award-winning fiction writing, and since then his body of work has only expanded to become more renowned. His most recent novel, Overstory, won the Pulitzer Prize for Fiction in 2019. While he could not participate in a video interview, he submitted a statement upon receiving this year's special recognition, which I will now read. "It's a true joy to receive a recognition that reconnects me to an institution that has been at the core of my life for 6 decades. My dad was a graduate of the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences before continuing in the College of Education, and I spent a chunk of my childhood in a Quonset hut in the big open field across from the stadium where he got his doctorate. My own 2 degrees from LAS are souvenirs from the most intellectually intense and emotionally transformative years of my life. And of course, I came back and taught in the College of LAS for a couple of decades, where I continued to learn from and be enriched by a new generation of students. I was so proud to be an Illini, and for the record, I will be even more proud to align with that fabulous orange and blue indigenous species, the kingfisher. I regret not being able to join you live for this celebration. There's some irony in the fact that I'm being given this award in part for writing novels that were among the first to insert microcomputers, the World Wide Web, virtual reality, and remote telepresence into traditional literary fiction. And here I am, 4 decades later, living in the mountains of Southern Appalachia without sufficient bandwidth to download a moderate email attachment. But I'm thrilled to join you via print, a technology that has remained pretty nifty and durable, much to the delight of liberal arts graduates everywhere. It's impossible to receive what amounts to a Lifetime Achievement Award without feeling as if a lot of fine people are telling you, here's your hat, what's your hurry? A large part of me wants to reply, hey, not so fast, I'm not done yet. While I'll resist the temptation to give myself a 5-minute eulogy, I will say that at 63, I feel as if I'm just starting to learn how to drive this thing. But the truth is, the hurry is real for me and you and all of us. The stakes have never been larger or more pressing. From the cold civil wars that divide America to the growing toll of environmental cataclysm, our shared destiny has never been more precarious. The mind-boggling advances in science and technology over the last half-century have increased the leverage of human activity so enormously that the world has been shaken out of orbit. The assumptions of almost half a century ago, when I arrived at Allen Hall to start my liberal arts education, have been changed beyond recognition, even to 2020 hindsight. Yet it falls now to the humanists and the social science and the liberal artists of all stripes to restore that shaken world to its stable seasons. At the heart of a liberal arts education is the search for empathy. How can we make a home together on this planet with all these billions of neighbors, humans and non-humans alike, who all have different values? Our shared survival depends on learning how to succeed all together or not at all. That was the lesson my liberal arts education set me half a century ago. May it be still at the core of the curriculum half a century from now. Heartfelt thanks for this award. I wish you health, clarity, and empathy in these crucial times. This concludes our program for the 2020 Alumni Award celebration. I'd like to thank Interim Dean Gene Robinson, Alumni Council Chair Joey Levan, and LAS Leader President Monisha Kuvor for participating in our virtual event. The College Office of Advancement for their support in selecting our awardees and their efforts in creating this event. Our awardees for participating in our video, and all of you for joining us from around the world. Thank you so much, and go Illini.